Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryan Karavavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Because the poster in the chat.
Yeah, correct. I have one question here.
True. Darling.
No, I have Irina's question.
Okay, I'll end that.
Yeah. Irina, the question is formless witnessing the fourth state of consciousness. The question is formless witnessing the fourth state of consciousness? Irina, we cannot say the formless witnessing is the fourth state of consciousness. We can say that is one way of, we can say that is one way, that is one indicator to the consciousness. That we cannot say fourth state equals formless witnessing formless consciousness. Reason being, any description about the fourth state is not the fourth state. That is a thumb rule. That is a fundamental formula. Again, any description of the fourth state is not the fourth state. Being, all descriptions comes under words. All description comes under words. And words can describe that which is, words can never describe the limitless, because the very word being limited by nature can always indicate that which is limited by the word. Okay, what does word can teach? Words can convey that which is of a name, a form, a property, action. Words can convey only these things. Through words, we can convey what? Through words, we can convey name, form, property, action. Witnessing is an indicator of a verb, action. Witnessing is witnessing is an indicator of action. Something is happening, here is a person that is witnessing. Correct? So witnessing becomes a kind of an action. Now the second word that we are, the second thing that this word describes is this. The second word that we used, that you used, I'm trying to go back to the question. Can you type it again? I missed it. I don't know where I don't know how to go there. Yeah, got it. Yeah, got it. Witnessing is an action. Formless is a property. So all words that is used will always describe either a name, a form, a property, or an action. And fourth state of consciousness doesn't fit under any of this. Therefore, we cannot say formless witnessing is the fourth state of consciousness. You follow? Nama, Rupa, Guna, Karma. That's what they say. The words can describe only these things. And words cannot describe anything that doesn't have this four. Anything which doesn't have the property of these four, words cannot describe that. Therefore, we say, is formless witnessing the fourth state of consciousness? Yes. Formless witnessing can be used as an indicator of the fourth state. But is it the same? No. So, if I say, can formless witnessing be used as an indicator for the fourth state of consciousness? I'm rephrasing the question now, Irina. Can formless witnessing be used as an indicator to the fourth state of consciousness? Yes. Now, I described the two words, formless and witnessing. Now, briefly, what is this fourth state of consciousness? A existence beyond cognition is the fourth. Fourth is not the mathematical fourth. There is the waking state, there is the dream state, there is the deep sleep state, and then Turiyam, the fourth state. Now, what we have to understand when we talk about Turiyam, the fourth is, it's not to be misunderstood as a mathematical fourth. Fourth means that which is beyond the three. That all our knowing is restricted only to these three. There is something beyond it. That is the fourth state of consciousness. What is that fourth state of consciousness? Indicators are given. And when we say indicators are given, indicators do not anyway come closer to what it is really. Again, I repeat, when we say indicators doesn't come anyway closer to what it is. And yet, why do we give that? Are we giving the false? Is Vedanta giving us the false indicators? No. These indicators is that which can satisfy the intellect now. So the indicators are given that can satisfy the intellect, but not really defining what it is. This distinction has to be understood very clearly. So the indicators of Brahman, indicators of the fourth state of consciousness is given for what? Not for us to understand what it is. For that cannot be understood what it is. And yet why these are given? This is given so that the intellect gets some. It is to satisfy the limitations of the intellect. One. Second, why do we say it as indicator is because the human mind cannot conceive of anything beyond experience. That is why even when we say Brahman, Turiyam and all is indivisible, it cannot be understood and all that. We'll always ask, at least can we get a glimpse, no? At least can't we get a glimpse? At least we get something, no? Because the human cognition is always through experience. Fourth state is not an experience. Fourth state is not an experience. So what are they saying? There are these three states of experience and there is something that cannot be experienced. The fallacy of human thinking, I'll tell you now. If we say God is formless, intellect will understand it as formless as a definition of God. That's why it goes in circles. Again, I repeat, if we say God is without form, okay, what is God? God is without form. That becomes, formlessness becomes a definition of God. You follow? Therefore, here what are we talking is the fourth state of consciousness, what we call as Turiam, is a consciousness that doesn't have the need or necessity to be conscious of or to lighten or enliven. The closest example that one of the later textbooks talks about is light on the stage. The light on the stage is lighting the whole auditorium. Nobody is there. The actors haven't come. The audience hasn't come. Nobody has come. What is the light to do? The light will not say nobody is here. No. What am I lighting up? Light will not say that. Then what happens? By and large, one by one comes. They all sit, they all enjoy, and then one by one, they go. After everybody left, what will the light to do? Oh, there is nobody here, why should I light up? It will continue to exist without the need for anything. That is consciousness. In our case, in the case of the three states, when we say witnessing, a role of God is in connection to we are giving a specific role to consciousness. What is a specific role that we are giving? The specific action that God will do, witness. So now we are attributing an action to God. What is the action that we are attributing to God now? God is a witnesser. Upadrashta, Anumanda, Bharta, Bhokta, Maheshwara. He said in the Bhagavad Gita also, no. So we ascribe, we give a job to God. What is the job to God that is given? He is a enlivener. He is a witnesser. So as he enlivens, he witnesses. So a specific job given to God satisfies the intellect. Wherever there is matter, spirit enlivens it. If there is no matter, what will spirit do? Will spirit go out of existence? You can't even conceive of that. Wherever there is matter, spirit enlivens. Matter plus spirit equals human. In the formula, remove matter. What will happen to the spirit? What will happen to the spirit? Will spirit also go away with it? It will remain. Doing what? Doing what? We don't understand. We don't understand. We should say we don't understand. We can't say it will simply exist. We should not say. Because if I say it will simply exist, again I'm giving another property to it. What? Existence. Something we have to, some word that we describe, the word that we use always will fall under these four. Some name, some form, some guna, some karma. One God will protect. Job for him is the protector. Another job for another God, destroyer. So his job is to destroy. The protector cannot destroy, the destroyer cannot protect. Okay, but then the protector and the destroyer cannot create. Therefore, there is a creator, there is the protector, there is the destroyer. Why? Because humans can understand only in relation to these four. Words can describe only this. When we are talking about Brahman, Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. Upanishad. Where words fail to reach, where words fail to reach means no word can give you even an indication of it in the true sense. And yet what these indicators are? Satisfy our intellect. It is to satisfy our intellect. After deeper reflection, what do you say? I am not interested in this intellectual satisfaction and all. I go beyond it. Are you able to follow? At the elementary level of reflection, at the kindergarten level of reflection, you will want some clarity in everything. At the advanced level of reflection, you will say, what all I thought as clarity is, what all I thought as clarity, you will let go of it. Why? Because it belongs to words. When Polonius the minister asked Hamlet, what are you reading? He said, words, words, words. These are all words. And it doesn't actually convey anything. So we are in need of words to convey. We are in need of words at one level. At another level, we transcend the word. And when we are talking about this Turiyam and all, we have to be very clear in defining all words that we use indicates, and these indicators doesn't give us any proper knowledge. Then what is it for? They are not wrong indicators. They are not misleading indicators, but these indicators are only a clarity to the intellect at one level. Because the same intellect, when you grow, when you do this deeper reflection and all that, you will say, you transcend the words. So you transcend action, you transcend the words. Whatever remains is the fourth state. So this is what fourth state is. So three words, Irina. Witnessing, formless, fourth state. Now I separately defined all the three. What is witnessing? Witnessing is an action. I am the witnesser. Witnessing something. Are you able to follow? Why do we say all indicative definition, all these words are not anywhere closer to reality? All words, word, W-O-R-D-S, all words exist in the medium of duality alone. Words exist in the medium of duality alone. No word can convey. No word can convey the dissolution of the two. No word can actually convey that. Why? Because all words necessarily exist in duality. Advayam, Advaitam, Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, Sohamasmi. All these also say the two dissolving, the two dissolving, the two dissolving. Are you able to follow? The two dissolving is what we are indicating again and again and again. Okay, what is that two dissolving into? What is that? What is it when the two dissolves? How do we describe that when the two dissolve? No, that is beyond Anirvachaniya. Anirvachaniya means that which cannot be described by any words. Mundaka Upanishad says it very clearly. There are two kinds of knowledge, Paravidya and Aparavidya, the lower and the higher. All the lower Vidya consist of words. What is a book? Group of words. What is Veda? Words. What is Vedanta? Words. Mundaka Upanishad says all this is Aparavidya. Aparavidya means all belongs to the lower knowledge. Then what is the higher knowledge? The higher knowledge is that by which you know one, you know everything. Knowing that, you know everything. Again, knowing everything not as in data. When we say knowing everything, again we'll misunderstand it as knowing everything as in data. It is not knowing in that sense. The very word knowing here is indicative of a remembrance, a understanding of your true nature. Knowing in that sense. You follow? Therefore, is the fourth state of formless witnessing consciousness? Yeah, you can call it as indicator. You should not say it is. Is it okay, Rina? Yeah. There is one more question. Question from Anshu. Anshu. Brahman is Sat-Chit-Ananda. Elaborate on the below. Existence not of anything is Sat. Conscious not of anything and conscious of nothing in particular is Chit. Ananda is not an experience of joy, joyful, greatest joy. Anshu, from where you got all this?
So actually from the YPO.
From the?
From the YPO slides.
Okay. That's what I'm wondering. Where is it? Where did it come? Brahman is indicated as Sat-Chit-Ananda. Brahman, one indicator of Brahman is Sat-Chit-Ananda. Sat means existence, Chit means consciousness, awareness, Ananda, bliss. Now, my YPO class, no? Not somebody's YPO, isn't it?
No, sir, yours.
Then it's okay. Then I was Sat-Chit-Ananda. There is a discussion on Sat-Chit-Ananda. And don't ask why YPO is asking about Sat-Chit-Ananda. Don't ask. The question is about Sat-Chit-Ananda. So I said, to put it in a simple term, the moment we say existence, the very existence can be conceived only with the form. The moment we say Sat, existence, that existence can be conceived only with a form. Then what is meant by Sat here? That which is lending the status of existence to everything, but by itself doesn't have any existence, is Sat. Again, I repeat. That which lends the status of existence to everything, but by itself doesn't have any status of existence is called Sat. Okay. How do we make it more simple? That's why we say the easiness in everything is Sat. What is the form of the easiness? There's no form for that. The seed is, the plant is, the tree is, the wood is, the table is, ashes is. The seed, the plant, the tree, the wood, the table, the ash. You understand the sequence, no? First, there is a seed, it turns into a plant, and then it becomes a tree. The tree is cut, the tree is cut into wood, the wood is made into a table, and the table is burnt, turned into ashes. Tree, plant, seed, plant, tree, wood, table, ash. What is one thing in common? There is something that is lending it a existence. That which lend existence to this is called Sat, Brahman. When we say lending existence means what? Lending existence means because of that factor at the core, it has a temporary form. If that Sat is not at the core, it cannot have that form, and that form which is temporary by nature. So all forms are temporary by nature, but temporary means it has an element of existence, and that existence is not of the form. Then where is it borrowing it from? It is borrowing it from Brahman, that is called Sat. Existence. Then comes Chit. Everything is existing. Everything is existing, displaying awareness. Correct? Everything is existing. All that is existing displays awareness. The earthworm has its own level of awareness. The bird has its own level of awareness. The human being has their own level of awareness. So all that is existing has awareness. What is that awareness? That awareness of itself and the environment around. Correct? It has to be aware of itself, and it is aware of the environment around. Now, where is this awareness coming from? From Brahman. So, Brahman lends Sat as it were. Brahman lends Chit as it were. Then the third definition of Brahman is consciousness. Ananda. Again, Ananda is not a superlative joy, because all our experience of happiness goes as joy, joyful, greater joy. Greatest joy is Ananda. No. We cannot say that. Why? Whatsoever you call as joy invariably comes with the sorrow. The temporary absence of sorrow is joy, or the temporary absence of joy is sorrow. Again, what is joy and sorrow in the world? Temporary absence of sorrow is joy. Okay, what is sorrow? Just the opposite. Then what is Ananda? A bliss. And what is bliss implies? What does Ananda here means? Is not an experience of joy and sorrow. If we say not an experience of joy and sorrow, the only way that we can equate it to our deep sleep state, where there is no experience of joy or sorrow. But again, there is no existence there is no consciousness there. Are you able to follow? If we say it is absence of joy and sorrow, where you will search to understand that? Somewhere you will search to correlate that, no? Okay, where will you find it? Where will you find a similarity? From your own experience only you can find a similarity. What experience you have? You have an experience of deep sleep. But the deep sleep, we cannot call it as Ananda. Why? Because there is no Sat there is no Chit there. Because when you are in deep sleep, you do not know that you are in deep sleep. Do you? Again, ask yourself this question. When you are in deep sleep, will you know that you are in deep sleep? If you know that you are in deep sleep, then you are not in deep sleep. Correct? It means what? Not Ananda is not a state of losing sight of this awareness and consciousness. Therefore, Ananda is a different entity that we are talking about. What is a different entity, Ananda, here? Unbroken, something that is unbroken, something that cannot be broken at all. Joy and sorrow is broken. Compartments is, one compartment is joy, another compartment is sorrow. What is Ananda? Ananda is that which nothing has the capability to break it. That is Ananda. Can we experience a state like that through the instruments? Through the instruments, you cannot experience that state because experience are designed to work in opposites. Remember that. That's why if anybody comes and say, I have experienced it, Gaudapada says, I'm not saying that, Gaudapada says, if somebody comes and says, I experienced God, Gaudapada says, you are hallucinating. He will say, you are hallucinating. Why? Because instruments are designed to function only through the opposites. Are you okay till now? Opposites means cyclically it will keep repeating itself. You can never eliminate one and keep the other. Never try that. You can try it. You can imagine there is a state like that. But in reality, there is no state like that. Because the very nature of opposite means what? One will necessarily follow the other. But sir, in Vaikuntha, it's always bliss, no? In Shivaloka, it is always bliss, no? In Goloka, it is always bliss, no? And then you have to fight. In which loka bliss is more there? In Shivaloka is more or Vaikuntha is more. And then somebody will come and say it is in the seventh heaven. There is no Shivaloka, there is no Vaikuntha, there is only seventh heaven. And somebody will come. Now, all this means what? We are still trying to experience this joy as in through the medium of an instrument, and instruments can only function where there is opposite. Is Ananda the opposite of sorrow? That is why we say existence not of anything, conscious not of anything, objectless awareness. We say no. What is that objectless awareness? Awareness necessarily comes only after the object. For the instrument, awareness comes, the object and the awareness. Now, what is objectless awareness? Similarly, an experience beyond joy and sorrow. You cannot say an experience of no sorrow, because the very recognition of sorrow is always only in relation to the dvandvas, the joy. Is it possible to get stuck in one opposite and eliminate the other? It's against dharma. It's against dharma. It's against the law. Because all in creation is designed to function in opposite is the dharma. The dharma of creation is opposites. That's why the world is defined as dvandvas, pairs of opposites. Since it is defined as dvandvas, pairs of opposites, what is the only thing that you have to deal with? The only thing that you have to deal with is all definitions, all experiences fits under opposites. Ananda is not something that absence of one. It's not absence of sorrow. Because the opposite of joy is sorrow. The opposite of sorrow is joy. Then what is the third entity, Ananda? Again some word. Again some word. That, and what is this word indicating? Indicating something that is beyond the cognition of the instrument. Are you okay till now? Anshu.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Existence, knowledge, bliss. Knowledge is used as awareness because whenever we say Sat-Chit-Ananda, it will be loosely translated as existence, knowledge, bliss. Here, knowledge not in the sense of knowing, knowledge in the sense of awareness, consciousness. Because in Vedanta, knowing, awareness, consciousness all means the same. So, Sat-Chit-Ananda is existence, knowledge, bliss, existence, awareness, there is the factor that is neutral to the experiences. That is why you are able to that's why you are able to recognize both the experiences. The conscious factor has to be a neutral entity. Only if it is a neutral entity, it can experience joy and sorrow. Supposing if the intrinsic nature of Chit is only joy, you can never experience the opposite. Are you able to follow the logic? The intrinsic nature of it is neutral by nature. What does neutrality means? Water can acquire any taste because what is water? Formless, shapeless, tasteless. That's why you can add anything to it. Supposing if it has its own taste, what will happen? You cannot add. Are you able to follow? It means there is a neutral thing that is making sure that all experiences are possible, while it by itself it doesn't have any of this quality. If it has a shape of its own, it cannot be made into any other shape. If it has its own shape, it cannot be turned into any other shape. The fact that it can be turned into infinite shape means what it has to be originally. Linguistically, we have to use the word shapeless. Irina, now we are coming back to your question again, isn't it? Now we are coming back to your question again. Linguistically, we have to call it as shapeless and formless only. Linguistically, we have to use a word. But then what we are conveying is not that. That is why the Vedantic method of teaching, neti, not this, not this, not this. Anything you come and say, not this. Is it okay, Anshu? Sat-Chit-Ananda?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes. The third one, Vijay. Krishna takes responsibility for our yoga and kshema, provided We follow Yama-Niyama, resolve to follow Yama-Niyama. Okay. Satyam is conviction in living a unhypocritical life. Satyam is not restricted to being factual, not lying. Example, Gunda chasing to kill. Lying in extremes is okay. Not lying in extremes. Always lying is okay. Always lying is okay. Asthayam. See, Asthayam, people define it as non-stealing. See, what is stealing here means? We have to give the implied meaning of the word stealing. What is the implied meaning of the word stealing? Unfair deal, that's all. Today it is exactly the opposite. You have to bargain, isn't it? You have to bargain for a better deal, or we have to say win-win for both. There is no both win-winning at all, isn't it? One win and one lose. This is what Krishna says is verse 22 of chapter 9 of the Gita, as I understand from your explanation on first chapter. Okay, now the question. So now she only said what I explained. Now the question. The question is, how is a unhypocritical life possible without sincerity underlying it? Second question. If one doesn't bargain, Krishna takes care of his welfare. Why can't the same principle apply in the Gunda example if one were to reply honestly? Correct. I am not being factious. It seems to me that we are rigidly holding on to Asthayam and flexible with Satyam. What am I missing here? Vijay, what are you missing here? What are you missing here? Something you are missing. Because of that, we have to talk about all these disciplines. Because of that one thing that is missing, we have to talk about all these things. If that one thing is there, all this discussion becomes redundant. There is no Yama needed, there is no Niyama needed, there is no practices, nothing is needed. Because we are missing one thing. And if you can catch hold of that one thing, all this is not needed. What is that one thing? I'm talking about that one thing in the context of 9th chapter. Right? Suppose when you are doing 13th chapter, maybe we'll say something. I'm saying this in the context of 9th chapter. What is it that is being missed here? Krishna says, Ananyas chintayanto ma me janaah paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. So we just elaborated the word vahami. It's not dadhami. He's not saying I give. What is the difference? There is a difference. It's not synonym. What is the difference? Dadami means I'll give. Vahami means I take responsibility. There is a difference between the two. So to elaborate what is the difference, because only when you understand that if you interpret it and say, I give you yoga and kshema, that's a very limited understanding of what he's trying to say. If you say, I take responsibility for your yoga and kshema. Generally, what people do, they go into detailed elaboration of what is yoga, what is kshema. Because we have the time and luxury to go detail into everything, we went into the detail of what is meant by I take responsibility also. What are you missing here in this context? The only thing that is missed here is the one thing that we are missing here in the context of 9th chapter, in the context of bhakti, is prasada buddhi. It's called prasada buddhi. If prasada buddhi is there, we need not worry about Yama-Niyama and all that. Vakra buddhi, Arpana buddhi, prasada buddhi. Now, Yama, Niyama and all that is that Vakra buddhi to turn into these two. Are you able to follow? Vakra buddhi means, Kirina, Vakra buddhi means twisted. Vakra means twisted. Twisted here means, what is twisted buddhi? Twisted buddhi is where it not understanding its limitations, it arrogates a few things to itself. That is twisted. Not understanding the limitation, the human buddhi arrogates a lot of things to itself. That human intellect that is failing to recognize its own limitations, as a result of which it is taking too many things onto its hand, is called Vakra buddhi. Now, this Vakra buddhi person, this person who has this Vakra buddhi, always feel insecure, always feel threatened, always feel insecure, always be in sorrow. Either sorrow will be there or sense of insecurity will be there. Now, how to convert from Vakra buddhi to Prasada buddhi? He says, do certain disciplines. What are the disciplines? Whatever we spoke about, Yama, Niyama, Swadhyaya, all put together. Now, all this will result in what? In Prasada buddhi. So now we work backwards. A person who has this Prasada buddhi will not be worried about whether I am being factually correct or not. Because what is Satyam? Speaking the truth. What is Satyam? Speaking the truth. But then in 17th chapter, he doesn't say that. In 17th chapter, when he speaks about speaking the truth, Anudvegakaram Vakyam, Satyam, Priyam, Hitam, Swadhyayam, 6 conditions he puts. Only when these 6 are done, it can be called as Satyam, the truth. In chapter 17. Because he doesn't want us to do any guesswork. He made it so complete, we just have to keep going backwards and forwards for references. So what he says as being truthful is what? Actually, he doesn't say it as being truthful. He's saying, Vangmayam tapa uchyate, the austerity of speech, the austerity of body, the austerity of speech, the austerity of mind. Manasam karma, vachikam karma, kayakam karma. What he calls as Satvik tapas. There, Satyam is brought about as a discipline. What is the discipline? It has to be Anudvegakaram, Satyam, Priyam, Hitam, Swadhyayam, all put together. Here, we do not worry about being factual or hypocritical. Because hypocrisy or being untruthful is in relation to a transaction from which angle you look at it. It's a transaction from which angle you look at it, you will call it as hypocritical or being very factual. Words always have this problem. All words has this problem. Group of people get together and select their leader. This is the concept. If you like it, what will you call it as? There is the group of people get together and elect their leader. If you like it, you will call it as democracy. If you don't like it, mob rule. It is the same. The words that you use indicates from what angle you are coming from. Are you able to follow? All words has the same problem. That's why in Yama-Niyama, each and every word has to be, each and every word they use very, very carefully. So it seems that we are rigidly holding on to Asthayam and flexible with Satyam. Correct. Because the human mind always has the tendency to use the Shastric logic to its justification. All this has to be followed. What is all this has to be followed? When you say Asthayam, you don't. Asthayam means any benefit that is derived from. Literal meaning of Asthayam is stealing. Now everybody will turn back and say, we are not stealing, sir. Because we don't do chain snatching. We don't do that. Lottery ticket we don't buy, correct? Gambling we don't do. I work hard and I pay taxes also, sir, properly. It means Asthayam as a discipline is not required for me, correct? The mind will interpret it like that. The discipline of Yama-Niyama will come and say, no, you also have to practice Asthayam. Now, how do you understand Asthayam now? We have to give the implied meaning or the intended meaning, not the direct meaning. What is the implied meaning of Asthayam? Any benefit that arises out of okay, to put it very simply, whether we like it or not, all negotiations comes under Asthayam, whether we like it or not. It can be a corporate negotiation, it can be negotiating with the, can be a corporate negotiation, or it can be a negotiation with the roadside lady selling Goa. All negotiation, all bargaining comes under stealing only, whether we like it or not. We can say Vedanta is not practical, that is our freedom to say that. Concept doesn't change. You follow? Vijay. 35 years, you have only did negotiations. I know the back. Now she is worrying, oh my God, so much of negotiation has been. So what do we do now? Asthayam means we do not. That's why the culture here is, you go, there is a price. You don't justify you don't worry about the price. You only worry about what? You only worry about what? Can you afford it? If you can afford it, buy. If you can't afford, take loans and buy, and then repay. No. This is the price. Who fixes it? That person has fixed it. But sir, he has fixed, but sir, that person fixes the price for cheating, for profit. Then what do we do? Asthayam says, do you need it? First question you have to ask, do you need it? Vijay, do you need it? Yes. Pay the price. Don't need it? This is Vairagya. Need it? Pay the price. If you don't need it, but sir, what if I wait for the sale they do and then if I buy? Dubai shopping festival, isn't it? What if I wait for the Dubai shopping festival and buy? That's a very, because I am not asking, but they are giving no. From you, you are not asking. That's all. From you, you are not seeking that. The very seeking very soon will result in stealing. Negotiation, bargaining will very soon result in stealing. You don't know that. Nobody understands that. Since he is able to understand that, he is saying Asthayam. Don't do Asthayam. Satyam. What is another quality, Satyam? Two beautiful qualities. Satyam. Satyam is somebody has told, somebody has hired a person. Kill Arvindan. Why say somebody here? I was about to say kill Vasanti. Then I said, why poor thing? Why does she have to be get killed? Even though I love to do that also. So somebody has hired a person to kill Arvindan. And that person has forgot to give my photograph. So he's coming and asking, are you Arvindan? I am the follower of Satyam. What will I say? Yes, sir. What will I say? Yes or no? At one level, you will say yes, provided you have prasada buddhi. You will say yes, provided you have prasada buddhi. Why? Because this is what should happen now. It has come a life of total resignation. That is prasada buddhi. And now nobody can live life like that level and all. Therefore, what is the other way? Because you can't choose prasada buddhi, you can't pick and choose prasada buddhi in areas. Either you have it or you don't have it. So if you don't have it, what is the other way? Arvindana, yarne theriyadhu enakku, I will say, isn't it? I don't know who is Arvindan at all. Technically, did I lie? It depends upon what is your definition of Satyam. Are you okay till now? Since these are all very complicated, we don't want to define ourselves and fall into our own trap. That is why Shastram Pramanam Te. Are you able to connect now, Irina? Since our intellect will create a trap and I will fall into my own trap. What Shastra says, don't create your own trap and fall. Then what you should do? Take to Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te. If Shastra says it's okay to, under certain circumstances, it is okay to lie. Because it is said by Shastra, you accept it as a Pramanam. You follow me, Ji? You don't decide. You don't decide. Because if you decide, you will choose. You will pick and choose. Isn't it? When there is a extremely sorrowful incident in your life, you can never say prasada buddhi and accept it. Can you? You cannot. Since we cannot take all experiences of life that come in my way as prasada buddhi, we always tend to pick and choose. We fall into a trap. What is the trap? What all suits me, I will take that, and I brainwash myself to believe that I am following the Shastra. Isavasya Upanishad says, worldly people are in blinding darkness, spiritual people are in greater darkness than blinding darkness. Andam tamah pravishanti. Who? The worldly people. Isavasya Upanishad says, the spiritual people get into more darkness than the blinding darkness. What does it mean? They selectively quote here and there, and they start believing that they are following it. Therefore, what do we do? When you are selectively choosing, follow Yama and Niyama in the way that it is prescribed. Once you have matured to a state where you can say all experiences can be taken as prasad buddhi. What is all experiences taken as prasad buddhi? That's why I gave these two examples again and again and again. Ramana saying, God decided that we should eat for 3 days, we got food. God decided that we should not eat today. No food. Who can take that stance? That person need not worry about Yama-Niyama. If I cannot take that stance, I have to worry about Yama and Niyama and practice. Second example, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He was trying to save the scorpion. The scorpion that he was trying to save is stinging. He was trying to save a scorpion. The scorpion that he is trying to save was stinging. What did he say? The friend said, it is stinging, no, leave it. It is stinging, no, leave it. You know what answer Ramakrishna gave? Will you give a discourse to scorpion and say, don't sting? Okay, you can give a discourse. What will the scorpion do?
Still sting.
It will sting. If the nature of the scorpion is to continuously sting, nature of Ramakrishna is to continuously save. A person who can have this mindset is the one who need not worry about this Yama and Niyama. Rest has to be rigidly holding on to Yama and Niyama, every aspect of Yama and Niyama, not pick and choose. You follow? Once a person has matured, the person is freedom from the entire Yama and Niyama. Till that maturity happens, a person has to strictly hold on to the entire Yama and Niyama, the person has to hold on. What is his entire Niyama? Asthayam. What is Asthayam? Do I need it? Yes. If I need it, I'll pay the price. But sir, if my job is to negotiate, what do I do? Accept that there will be a consequence to it, and you have to accept that there will be a consequence. You can't say this is my job, therefore I should be free from consequences. Are you able to follow? This is my job. What do I do? Do it. Also be ready for the consequences. But I don't want to suffer the consequences and still do the job. Is there a way to do it? Yes. What is that way? Function like a sannyasi. Function like a sannyasi. In chapter 5. Function like a sannyasi is the answer in chapter 5. Yogi, sannyasi, jnani. In chapter 9, function like a bhakta, prasad buddhi. Greatest sorrow, greatest deepest sorrow, or the highest achievement, both are seen equally as prasada in chapter 9 bhakti. In chapter 15, all this belongs to the realm of ignorance, and in the realm of ignorance, what is there to pick and choose? Are you able to follow? Different mindset will use different words, but all of them are following one thing. In common, all of them are following. You follow? Therefore, in the context of 9th chapter, what is missing? You are missing that prasada buddhi. Are you okay, Vijay? Yeah. Last one, and we conclude for today. Anshu, can attachment cause indifference? Yes. If you are attached, you will become indifferent. Very clear. Very soon you will become indifferent. Why? Because attachment is selfishness. When you are not, selfishness means self-catering. When you are not catered to, what will happen? Very soon you will turn indifference towards that. Are you able to follow the sequence? Can attachment cause indifference? Yes. Always attachment very soon will result in indifference. What is indifference means? What is indifference? What is the definition of indifference? The definition of indifference is, in the context of this I am saying. In some other context I may give some other definition. Ranjini will say, why are you confusing so much? Mati, why are you giving so much of definitions? Why can't you just stick to one? It makes life so simple. Say, if we all live a robotic life, artificial intelligent life, no problem. But we all are living with the mind to know. What do we do? So what is the definition of indifference here? When you are attached, what makes you to get attached? You are receiving something. Then only you will get attached. Correct? Attachment is possible only when somebody is giving you an affection, you will get attached. Over a period of time, what happens? Your demand goes on increasing and the other becomes incapable of, the other doesn't have the capacity to attend to your needs. When the other person becomes incapable of attending to your so-called needs, what will happen? You develop indifference towards that person. Attachment causing indifference when you turn ungrateful to the person having given something in the past. Are you able to follow now? What is indifference? You have received affection, your need has increased, your demand has increased, and the other person simply is, the other person doesn't have the capacity to cater to the demand. What will you do? You means not you. What will the mind do? Drop that and go to the next. The dropping will not happen. If you understand what, indifference will not happen when you bring in the gratitude. When you bring in the gratitude, indifference will not happen. But sir, the other has changed. My need didn't increase, the other has changed. Then what do we do? I will still be grateful. If the other changes, it is that person's problem. I will still remain grateful. Even then, the change in the other need not, the change in the other also will not be a reason for you to become indifference. You're able to follow two possibilities. One is you change, the other possibility is that the other changes. Sir, when the other changes, what do I do? You will say, I will still be grateful. I will still be grateful. That's the exaggerated example in the book Holocaust of Attachment. When the wife tells the husband, why don't you stay there and come back the next morning? Instead of driving in the night and coming, where is the husband going? The husband is going to another person, another lady. Have drinks there and comes back home driving, drunken driving. So what did the wife say? Don't risk your life and risk the life of others by driving in the night. Stay there in the night and we're going to come the next day. This is the opposite of attachment, where there is no indifference at all. It is taken to the height. Based on that, we give this answer. You follow now, Anshu? Attachment causing indifference.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. With this, we conclude for continue next week.